So, tell me about the war. So, how did you get drafted?
So when I was drafted from Dublin, Georgia. I caught it from Delhi. We went to Dublin, then caught the train and went on into let me see, Fort. Now I forget it straight. Columbus, Georgia. We left Dublin and went to Atlanta, Macon. Then we caught the bus out of Macon and went to Columbus, Georgia, and I stayed in Columbus, Georgia for a week or so.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to San Antonio, Texas.
Ooh, I like that place. I went there for the first time this year.
Hmm?
I went to San Antonio for the first time this year. It's pretty.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I went to San Antonio, Texas, and that's where I took my basic training at, in San Antonio, Texas.
What was that like?
It was good. It was flat. We saw a lot of road runners.
I never seen one.
Yeah, so it was just. We had a fire there one year too. They had to get our soldiers to help them to put out the fire, because that fire was heading towards our base, and it's all that flat land and that wind. They had to have some help to put that fire, because it would have eventually come into the base.
Mm. So what did y'all do in basic training?
Huh?
What did y'all do in basic training?
We had to do all them, go out on the range, shoot, and we had to, when we get through with that, we had drills, and when we got through drilling, we had, in the morning we have exercise. We had to do all our exercise, lifting up weights, pulling chin up. I was limber then, man. I could have pulled my body up all. You got to swing clean, hold the rod way up over your head.
Mm-hmm.
You catch a rod and hold it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got to pull your chin up and hook it up on that rod where your hand had hold.
That's hard.
And come back down 20 times.
Yeah.
You had to be strong. You had to have good muscle.
Mm. So, you was good. You could do that. Okay.
Yeah, and then we come back and we'd wait on the plane, get the plane ready for them to get ready to go train. Airmen train. They go see they train, and they be shooting at the target. They come down, go out, and come around and go down and shoot at the target. That's where they train, shooting at moving targets down on the ground.
That was a train?
Yeah, and we had targets and things to practice up on too, and so we had. Then when the cadet come in and when we not training, I went. A guy was working in the cadet club.
Mm-hmm.
So he kept watching me, and so he said, "Wouldn't you like to go work with me when you off from other duty to work in the cadet club with me?" I told him, "Yes, I'll go down there and see how you do it."
Mm-hmm.
And so I went down there, and the first time I messed with booze and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the cadet, I took most of all his custom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, cause I fixed good drinks for them, and they love it. Oh,
Oh, you made drinks?
huh? Yeah, I was in the bar life. I didn't know. That's where they celebrate when they get off duty flying and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They have the cadet club. They call it a cadet club, but it's a thing where they sell. They have whiskey and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so they on the weekend when they're not working, they celebrate like that. And so I'll be fixing their drinks,
Mm-hmm.
and I got more tips than he did.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I send half of my money, all my tip home to Mom, and I never would tell him how much I was getting for tips.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, cause he tell me I got so and so much money today. But see, I got it twice as much as he was.
Mm-hmm.
They were giving me, cause they give me big money.
Mm.
Yeah, cause see, when they get high, I had about 6 cadets I served, and
They started tipping.
they liked the way I fix the drink, cause I fix them good drink. But I think he cut back on them like they want him to. The chef wanted him to do it, but see, I fix them different.
Mm.
And they liked my drink, and I started getting more and more accustomed.
Did you try any of them?
Huh?
Did you try any of the drinks?
Nope, I didn't try it. That's one thing I didn't never drink. Only time when I drank a beer when we was home.
Mm-hmm.
We went over to Millville, and I was messing around with my first cousin,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, "Come on, Baba." The meeting had turned out. For the early morning service had turned out for the evening service. For evening service, people haven't got there.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said, "Come on, let's go over to John Wooden and get us a beer." I had never tried no beer. So I was a dummy.
Mm-hmm.
Went on with them over there and went in John Wood over here to Dudley and bought a beer. They got their beer. They were drinking it. And I brought me one. And I took a mouthful of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And shoot, I had to run to the door to get that stuff out before we can do it. Because I tell them, well, y'all talking about this stuff good, that stuff ain't good. So I ain't fooling nothing else.
You spit it out.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I give them the drink, they drink it up. So I ain't never fooled with no kind of drinks since.
I don't like beer either. Tastes nasty.
Yeah, so that's where it was with me. And then we come back. We left out from San Antonio. Then we come back to some part of Mississippi. At camp in Mississippi. And we stayed there a month. I was glad when we left for that state, because it wasn't too much we did there,
Mm-hmm.
but we was kind of like a stopover, and we wound up in North Carolina, and then we stayed here a while in North Carolina. Then we caught the train back to, we got grouped up because we were getting ready to be shipped overseas.
Mm-hmm.
And so they loaded us all up on the train, and then we went to St. Pedro, California, all the way across to the United States.
That must have been cool.
And we crossed that lake down there. And, it looked like it was about like the Chesapeake Bay. Like,
yeah.
it was wide and you just can't see nothing but water and track.
Mm.
We had the train had to creep across that. It didn't run fast across that lake. I imagine you done seen it, because if you drove from Louisiana,
Mm-hmm.
down in there as well.
You said it wasn't the Mississippi River, it was a lake?
No, it come down into be a lake. That the highway go crossing now, cause
in Louisiana?
Yeah.
Probably Lake Charles.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
It's not too deep, but it just a lot of water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, trees grows up in it, and so we was up in our bunk sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and the train slowed up. We wouldn't know what we was slowing up for, and it stayed at that speed for a long time.
Mm.
And I happened to look out the window, and that's what we saw, nothing but water, water, water. Yeah, so we got.
So the train ran over the train tracks went over the lake, went across the lake. The train tracks went across the lake.
Mm-hmm.
Just
like the real road for the bus. They say one year a bus, they were driving too fast going across there, and it went off in that lake.
Mm.
But see, they got them out, because see, the lake is not too deep.
Yeah.
Looks like it ought to be somebody like that deep.
Mm-hmm. But it's not.
Because you can see tree stumps out there.
Mm.
But I say they must have had a boat to cut them trees and things down.
Probably.
Yeah.
Or may have fallen.
Yeah. And then we landed in San Pedro, California.
Mm-hmm.
And then we stayed over in St. Pedro, California for a week. And then we headed out for India. We got on the plane, on the ship, and it took us a month to sail to Bombay, India. And we left Bombay, India, come on up to I forgot the name of the river where we left. We got on that river.
You got a boat?
Huh?
You got on a boat?
Yeah, a river boat. We got it out of Bombay, India, and then we went on up to in the mountains around to Calcutta, India, all the Himalaya mountain, and the Toledo Road. We was all up in there in the mountain. We had our plane where we was working on. I was a battery operator, keep the batteries loaded ready for the planes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when they need a battery, because they flew the Himalaya mountain, going over to carry gasoline over the mountain.
To.
Yeah, so.
Where were they going to?
To China.
Ah, okay.
We was stationed down around Indochina down in there. And so one our plane crashed, and that's when we know that mountain they wasn't going over the whole top of the mountain. You still some part of that mountain they still can't go across.
Mm.
It's too high. And some of them think that's where the ark is up there.
The Ark?
Mm-hmm. Noah's Ark. They're thinking that's where it's at. So nobody know, they ain't never find the Noah's Ark, and I don't think that nobody's gonna find it. Only but God, He know where it's at.
Mhm. So you were staying in India when you were in the World War II, or you were in Burma?
India and Burma. We moved out from the flat part of the country up into the mountain part. That was in the India. Burma was mostly a flat country. That's why they were growing all that tea and different things.
Mm.
Rice.
Did you try did you get to eat some of the rice?
Huh?
Did you get to eat some of the food there?
Yep.
What you like and what you didn't like?
I didn't like any of that monkey meat what they was eating.
Who was eating monkey meat? Burma?
Some of the soldiers was eating it. Cause see, they had a restaurant and that's what they were cooking, monkey meat. So when they went round there, they saw the folk cleaning the monkey. So they asked them, "What y'all gonna do with him?" They said, "We eat the monkeys."
This is in Burma or India?
Both of them right there together, Burma and India. So
they was eating the monkeys. Okay. So you didn't like? Did you try the monkey meat?
Nope, I didn't. Cause I never did like too much a restaurant. Cause I listened to that mama, how she talk about down the Hilton. But she never would eat Hilton food.
Wow.
She always cooked her food.
What they do at Hilton?
Huh?
What they do at Hilton?
You all know all them big containers what they cook the food in.
Mhm.
Them people don't clean them thing every day. And sometime when they have leftover food, Mama said they bring them the things out and put the fresh food over in there and mix it up in there with that stale food. That's the reason why I don't care too much about going to restaurants now. Cause I heard how she said how they do the food. Well, see, they don't. I thought they discard that food after but see, that's the reason why when a certain time they stop bringing food out.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't eat all that food up, people don't come in and eat all that food up. They carry that food back in there and use it all over again. They say down the Hilton, that's what they did. No wonder some of them people didn't get sick down there off of that food.
No, I've gotten sick before eating at hotels.
But she said that something could fall over in there, and they don't look in them big containers when they get them out.
Mm.
But see, that's the way it was.
Mm.
So you never know what you eat when you go to a restaurant.
Okay. Food. What else did you like when you were over in Burma and India?
Well, most of the time they didn't have our food, and I just had enough to stay alive.
Yeah. I thought you liked the tea.
I liked the tea when they have, but see, they didn't made us the tea. That was the English people. When we go by their camp, they the one had tea. We didn't have, our soldiers didn't make tea. Drink back in those days. That's why I thought it was milk, but it looked like milk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it looked like that now, cause
the tea with the British, with the Indian tea, it's got.
I'm talking about England.
England, yeah, it's black tea mixed with a lot of milk,
Yeah,
so it looks light brown.
It's kind of brownish like.
Yeah.
And it tastes good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because they put sugar in it.
Yeah.
So you didn't have chai tea?
Huh?
Or you didn't have chai? The Indian tea?
No, I didn't drink it. Yeah, I drank American tea.
Did you have any? So you didn't have Indian food or Burmese food? I
didn't eat too much of that.
Okay.
Yeah. I had Latin American got some and mixed it up in their food. Because I went to one restaurant down there, and they told how they were doing, so I didn't go back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They treat you nice over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so when we sail out there, we went up the river, and that's why I tell you one thing, if you don't see them Indians swimming in a place, you better not swim in there. Now they throw this. I couldn't understand them when they were doing it. But see, I believe they got the best swimmers around. Because them children start swimming ever since they be little bitty babies.
Mm-hmm.
They throw them babies in the river.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't make no kind of fighting like this,
mm-hmm.
and crime, you know, they let them stay there till they start doing some kind of motion, and then they go and they get them.
Mm.
But see, if they don't, them baby got to put up some kind of fight. Try to save themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I say, wow, goodness.
Mm-hmm.
I say, that's what we do. They train them up.
Do you know how to swim?
Huh?
Do you know how to swim?
No.
Mm.
That's one thing where we ain't never been in no water like that. 'Cause we didn't have too deep of water, but Johnny, they made them a little pond, and so they had a place they goes in, and some of them boys, they started coming, getting in their pond,
Mm-hmm.
what they had dug, and so they tried to get them to stay out, and they wouldn't stay out. They got in there and went to swimming one day. They break them up. They took all their clothes away from the pond. They stopped coming then. Yes, sir.
That's funny.
So we didn't ever try to swim.
Mm.
Can you swim?
Yeah, I can swim.
That's good.
My mom made sure we learned because she doesn't know how to either.
I wish we did have a place to swim, because swimming is good because you don't know. But I never did go around water well. If I slip off in there, because David, he always went to the river. But most thing he carried my rope with him.
Yeah.
When he up on them banks, he tied the rope around him before he go sit down on the bank and tie the end of it out there to a tree.
Mm-hmm.
So if he was to slip and fall, he have a way to pull himself out.
Mm.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
Yeah.
When he'd be down there fishing on the bank.
Who did that?
Huh?
Who did that?
My brother, David, Mabel's husband.
Ah. Okay, so. Okay, you were out. How old were you when you were drafted?
When?
How old were you when you were drafted?
I was, I think 24 or 25.
And how long were you in the war?
4.
So
yeah.
To 28.
When I come out, I might was younger than that. Cause see, I think I got married around when we was in our 20s.
Mhm.
It was around 25 or 26, somewhere along where we got married.
You got married after you came back from the war, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get married, but just 2 years after I come out of service.
So what did you and Grandma decide to do for those 4 years? Cause y'all were dating before you left, right?
Yeah, we was talking to each other.
Mhm.
Yeah, we was. That's what I'm saying. We hadn't been too long started, cause they always tell the girls when they could have company to come.
Mhm.
But we were talking to each other on the side.
Mhm.
But she going to the house, they had to be a certain age before they go in the house. But what she did, she always go in there with Dan and Nellie and all of them and sit down in there. And that's where she started, because they didn't never had to tell her what how old to be before she had something to come to the house.
Mhm.
So she stayed down and learned from them.
So, but y'all were talking before you left.
Yeah.
But did you decide? Was it where you guys like wait for me, or when you left for the war? Or no.
She didn't. That was on her own. It was on my own. Yeah, we just. I told you. Well, I don't know how it happened, but it just happened all at once. She trying to talk to somebody, but she didn't. When I was coming up, it was certain people I talked to, but some I don't have. I just didn't fool with.
Mhm.
It's certain people. Just like at that church out there, a lot of them keep coming up talking. If I could have married a bunch of them, but if you don't have no care for a person, you don't like that. You don't. That's the way it was. When I was coming up. I talked to them, but I just didn't. Looked like I didn't have this no. But see, I just don't try to like somebody if I don't catch nothing from.
Mhm. So you're not gonna get that invested.
Cause it's different. They're like now one lady out there. Now Johnny thought I was gonna like Wilder. Nope. Wilder smoked. She raised sand. I didn't care nothing about for that. She do all right when you're talking to her.
Mhm.
But when she get off, you just listen to them how they talk.
Mhm.
And that's where I don't like the way some of them talk when they be off out there talking to other people.
Mhm.
And now that's the sure Gail thought I was gonna marry Miss Wilder, but I said, That wasn't my type.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't handle that because they talk good. Just like I said, I told her,
Mm-hmm.
I said, we'll be friends, but that's further to go.
Mm.
Because I know when you put your name down on the dotted line, everything changed then.
So, you went off to war. You both went your separate ways. Y'all weren't waiting for each other.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't worried about Grandma going with somebody else.
No.
Did you write her letters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we just didn't tell nobody not to talk to nobody else. Because when we were coming up, that's what we did. We talked to different person, but we were the one that you could really care something from. That person what you were talking to, and that other person come up, you're gonna disappear from that one when you talking to him and try to get with the one that you care for. And that's the way we come up.
That's the way it still is now.
So that other guy who's never a girl or a boy, the one what you left, well, you know, he not for you.
Mm-hmm.
She knows you not for her. So she knows to try to find somebody that stay with her.
So you know Grandma was talking to other people while you were gone.
Yeah. Yeah, she talked to people, but she didn't. Yeah.
Were you talking to other people?
Yeah. Yeah, I talked to other people, but we just talked. And that's the way we did when we was home. We talked. That we don't do like children doing now. They taking the place of the elder people now. We didn't do that.
So, who was your first kiss?
Huh?
Who was your first kiss?
Johnny. Oh, we were going to school.
How old were you?
We was in school age. We left from teenage up.
Okay.
Cause we used to go to each other's house before we know anything about it. It's cold. So we used to play ball, play games, and I'd throw fireballs.
Would girls play fireball too?
Yeah. And we used to go. She'd come to our house. John and them fix her food, just like when we eat each other's house. So the parents know all when we were growing up. We go picking we pick huckleberry together out and carrots with huckleberries. All that what they didn't put up to make pies and things out of. They sell them. If we have too much, we carry them down the deli and sell them to the people who want to buy huckleberry. Yeah, and blackberry and blueberry and all of that.
Okay. I heard before that because you and Grandma, y'all are like fourth or fifth cousins, right?
So we don't know. They never did tell us.
Because I heard someone didn't want y'all to get married because of that. Is that true?
Yeah, 'cause just like, 'cause see, we didn't have no transportation, and so we talked to the if they ain't no real you like like the sisters and brothers, children, and then coming up. But see, they never did tell us till they got to close kinfolk. They say, well, you know that's your first cousin, and then we know not to talk to them. So we socialize with them. Otherwise, but we never did. The girl, one where we was so liking, we didn't fool with them.
Mm-hmm.
No, girls were girls back in those days. But see now, they the one now, not the one that's getting married.
So, I don't know if I should ask you this. I don't think I should ask you this. I won't ask. How did you find St. Luke?
Huh?
How did you find St. Luke?
I looked around. I went, because I went down there and to St. Luke Church, and I went to Union Baptist Church, and I went to Pleasant Grove up here on the hill. I went to St. Matthew over here, and I went to Unionville over there in the subdivision. And I went across town to a church. The First Baptist was I didn't care too much the way they was doing. But when I came to St. Luke, Reverend Ed, it was just a different feeling when I went in St. Luke. He looked like, I don't know, like you know how it is. It's something that you're just a different person. When I went in there, Reverend Ned was the preacher. Boy, yeah, he carried on. I liked the way he preached. I had heard him once down the Bird Hill. I said, then you, because it was a long, he come over there while we was in our teenager and carried out revival one year. And I said, ain't you in the St. Bird Hill Baptist Church? He said, yeah, I was living over in Cochran. But I didn't know that's where he was. I know we had got a preacher from Cochran one year. But see, I didn't know that was him till I come to me. And I found out, I come and hear him preach when I come up here. And I went to hear Pleasant Grove Pastor, he preached. And all the rest of them, I heard them preach. I went around to different churches before I joined St. Luke. And so when I decided, Mama asked, because I joined before she did. So she didn't join until after Baba Jean was born. And that was 2 years after.
How come she waited?
Huh?
How come she waited?
I don't know. She just didn't. She went to church, but she just didn't join. But we were saying we were going back home. But see, we didn't have no way to get back home but the bus. And so after Baba Jean born, then she went, got joined, because I joined the same year. After I the latter part of the year, because I had not been around all these other churches, and I had not see where I wanted to go, because I could walk from up there on the hill.
Mhm.
That's where we was, right there on the corner of Lexington and Kyle,
Mhm.
down in that alley there.
Mhm.
And I could walk from there to St. Luke on the Emory Highway.
Mm.
And that's where I joined, because we went out Cowan Street to Gray Highway and went around to St. Luke.
Mhm.
There was a pass go from Cowan Street down there to St. Luke,
Mhm.
Emory Highway, and I went the pass, walked the pass all the way to Emory Highway, because they hadn't cut this road come from Gray Highway over to Emory Highway then,
Mhm.
Second Street. They didn't have to cut it, because it went straight around like the drugstore down there.
Mhm.
And that's why we walked to St. Luke. That's where we had to get that walk, and car went out Lexington Street to St. Luke.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's where I got to be a member of St. Luke.
You've been there ever since.
Because we went around visiting different churches.
Mhm.
Oh, and I just liked the way St. Luke carried on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then Reverend Stinson came after that, after Reverend Ned.
Yeah, Reverend Stinson came on after Reverend. Wow, not Ned got so he couldn't go, and so Reverend Ned got Reverend Stinson from, because he was pastoring the First Baptist, and I don't think he liked the First Baptist too much, because Reverend Ned got him when he didn't feel like preaching, to come to St. Luke and preach some Sundays in the afternoon, because he wasn't able to attend evening service and morning service. But most of the time you'll get a preacher to tend to preach for the evening service anyway. But he'll preach the morning service. There'll be some of them be there in the morning. He'll put them up there then. He was like he knew to kind of train them up. But he didn't mind putting them up there to preach when they be around. Yeah.
So, was Grandma your first, or did you have somebody else?
Huh?
Was Grandma your first, or did you have somebody else?
She was the only one.
The only one? Wow. Not many people can say that today.
She was the only one.
Did you ever go? So you went from Seattle. I thought you said you went to Seattle too, when you came.
I said that's where when we came back from.
When you came back
from India, from Karachi, India, we sailed from there to Seattle, Washington. And then we come down on the train. And got stuck in North Dakota and South Dakota. We got snowbound. They pulled us out court by court. Them folk bought all our heavy coat. And they said, when y'all go back south, y'all can tell us what we Yankees got to go through up here. I told him y'all can have it. Look down in the valley. There's snow coming out around the chimney top. They got the house covered.
Are you serious? Wow.
I said, my. Then I stuck my head out the door. Ooh, it looked like it was. Like I didn't have nothing up there.
Wow.
It looked like it froze. I said, man. I was glad. It was rough.
They must have frozen there.
Huh?
How would the people get out?
They dig the way out. That snow was covered. I said, they got to carry have two on the outside and two on the inside. So they had to dig their way out up there in the mountain up there. They had electric line with the train runner. It was an electric train. Something happened to the train somewhere. It got the track got messed up once, so they had to get the people that work on the track to come get us. So we got stuck that night. After we trying to come home. Yeah, so.
So when you say it was an electric train, that means that it had lights and stuff. It had lights, electric lights.
Yeah. Yeah, the electric train up there in the mountain. Then, so I think they got diesel now, because I saw when we was on that trip, they have a engine park up on one of the mountains, and it got an extra track out there for you to stay on it all day long, and I guess all night too, to help pull that other train was coming through, help get it over the mountain top, and then when they get it over, then it'll come back and park in that place. Or stay in that place. I don't know if one coming from that way, coming back. I don't know. But if you don't, they come back to the same place, help pull the next one over.
So no snow for you.
Huh?
No snow for you.
No.
How long did it take y'all to get from Seattle back to Georgia?
Shoot, it took us, after we got off, because it took us over a day to get back to Georgia.
No, but it took you.
We come all the way across the north, and then when we got into Cincinnati, that's when we had to change and get on another train coming back south.
So that took 1 day, 2 days, a week?
Yeah, it took we stayed over in Cincinnati for a little while. Before we catch the train coming south.
So 2 days. That wasn't bad.
Yeah, 'cause we didn't come straight. No train straight. We come straight from Seattle after we got straight. But we changed different kind of engine, electric one while, and then got the diesel next.
When you were in Seattle, was it clear? Could you see the mountains?
Huh?
When you were in Seattle, could you see the mountains, or was it was gray?
Yeah, you could see the mountain up there, 'cause we had to come when we come out from the water. We had to look up. We had to come. We said, "Whoa, what's that?" We had to. I say, "Shoot, if them things started falling out from up there, ain't no way they could stop till they hit the water." Yeah, it was looking like a light there. Yes, looked like where we sailed from it. It ain't like the place that we landed coming from the Army. Unless they done hew down some of it, because when we come out from sailing from Alaska, looked like we were more on kind of level like. It wasn't too steep. But when we come out from this army, well, we got out off that ship. Was you ever been to the where they come in at?
The locks?
Where they dock at? Well, how did water look from down there to up on the top?
If I'm thinking about the same place. I don't know if I'm thinking about the same place, but the mountain still looks clear. It looks high if you can see it.
Yeah, it'd be high. Look like we'd be looking up at like the top of them trees there. From the water. Yeah. Yeah, we catch the train from, I don't know where the train station is now, but when we was up there, we went to the train station. I guess the train station might be about to the same place.
Probably is. They don't change it that much. King Station. It's called King Street Station. It looks pretty old.
Yeah.
It might be the same one. Amtrak.
Yep, we headed out from there.
So what was it like being on a boat for a month?
Well, it was rough one while, but boy, we hit a storm. We had to go out. They said 50 miles off coast to shore that water. That boat was bowing down so. And you can hear that rudder when it jumps. Boop, 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 boop. Boom, back down in the water.
That sounds pretty bad.
And then that man in that watch out post, he's sitting up there, look like that thing gonna break off. That thing, this the ship right here now. He's straight up in there. He got to climb up there and the thing's about the taller than them treetops on top of the ship. And then he leaning way over like that.
Are you serious? Wow.
And he got to be watching for submarines and ships all over the ocean. He got to be up tall enough to see over the ocean.
But he's got to stay on the boat.
I told him y'all sure got to be. Don't be nervous like that thing ranking up there when the bad weather.
I don't think I could do that
one. Like that thing gonna break off.
I'm sure it has.
Like it'll make them drunk too. I mean, you do till they get used to it. The way that ship be going back and forth, move sideways, then forward. And them big old whales jumping up out there in that water.
Oh, you can see the whales?
Yeah. They ain't like them what we saw up in Alaska.
What were these like?
These were some monsters. Them big things look like they were about half big as that room when they come up out the water. And spew that water up. But it's something to see down in that water, whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
It took us 30 days to go across.
Took you 30 days to get back, right?
Yeah, because we was all down across South America down there, coming up, go to India. Then we come back a different way, came back to Hawaii.
Okay. All right, Grandpa, I gotta take a nap.
Now the Pacific Ocean, that's a calm ocean.
Pacific is calm.
But the northern portion up here and the Atlantic Ocean, them some rough places.
Yeah, I noticed the waves are a lot angrier here on the Atlantic side than the Pacific.
Mm-hmm. And the Gulf, it's just like you're in a river.
It's like sitting in bath water.
You just like a smooth going sailing down. You don't have to be putting out much speed on the boat. Don't put out much. That water like carrying like it going downhill or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Gulf Coast and it deep is out in the center. Now, coming in where north them ship were, they just got one rut to come in.
Mm-hmm.
You got them other ship was coming in, and you get finna go out. They got to stay out till you get out, and then they come in. So they got to dredge that thing every day to keep it deep enough for them to come in. Or you pile of water, dirt up out there in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They get out there, they don't know how far to bring in land inland. They get stuck in all that. And they can't have to get somebody to pull them out. That's it.
Well, this has been very informative. I'm going to take a nap now. I have to take a nap now.
Yeah.
But this has been really informative.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Grandpa.
Yeah.
You got a lot of stories.
That's the way when the girls go across the water, girls never did hurt. They clothes never did come no high and red long here.
Mm-hmm.
But now where they at?
Now mine's just like above my knee.
Yeah. Yes. And the other people, they'll be down there around the ankle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Grandpa. I'm gonna take a nap real quick.
When they got go across the bridge, because they had to pull their shoes off and walk in the water. The boys turn their back while they're going across the river, through the water. Yeah, because they had pull
their skirts up. Yeah.
So the water won't wet their clothes.